What's going on, everybody? We are the Defenders of Comics. I am Coach.
Ace is here.
All right, and we are going to discuss Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 4. And this
Oh yeah,
episode was, like, really, really good.
Dynamite.
Now, I'm going to say that this episode, in my opinion, it's my top right now.
Yeah, it was really good. I've only got a chance to watch it one time, and I wanna watch it again. It was really good.
Are you putting it at your top of the 4?
I think I am. Yes, definitely.
Okay. Well, let's get right into it. The first thing that I want to talk about, and then I thought was amazing, was when Bucky is getting help from
We are gonna call her.
I'm making you say this because I don't have any idea.
Oh yeah, Aya
From.
from the Dora Milaje.
See, at least you know that part.
I know that part. Yeah.
And I thought this was excellent because I think we all sort of wondered how Bucky finally got rid of the mind control part of the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it was a really good scene, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really good. We got to see that and how emotional it was for him. Yeah, it's a really good scene. Loved it.
And speaking of this scene with how good it was, and like you said, emotional, she's like, "You're free." And that was it hit him like a ton of rocks. And he kept telling her, "This is not going to work. I'm going to tell you, this is not going to work."
And she's like, "Don't worry, I'm pretty special myself. I'll be able to handle myself."
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And he finally was free, but this whole scene, and I've told you this many times, makes me want to see more of Sebastian Stan and Bucky big time, because I think he is, and we'll argue this because I do agree with your other one, but I do think he is right now the top person of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I mean, they will be fools if they don't get Sebastian Stan into more projects here. Because to make Bucky or to have his story not continue in some way after this is incredibly foolish. And I do have my theory, and we talked about it last episode with the Thunderbolts. So I think he or Zemo will be in that Thunderbolts project. I hope so. Anyway.
I hope. Man, can you? Okay, so we might as well say this. Your number one or close people is Baron Zemo.
Yeah, I mean, it's super close. I'm with you on Bucky like 100%, but man, I'm kind of doubly shocked by Baron Zemo, and it's because of Daniel Bruhl's performance. He's just so freaking good, and I like him so much in the Alienist, and we've talked about that. So to see the real Baron Zemo, what he's doing in the show, I'm like, I want to see more of this.
Yeah,
big time. He's the Loki. He's like the new Loki in a sense, like the villain who is probably going to stab you in the back, but he's still fun to watch.
Yeah, but what I remember us talking about in WandaVision was Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany have proven that they can be the number one, the A star in a situation. And I think now with Baron Zemo and Bucky, they have proven they can be the A star of a whole different show and really carry it, in my opinion. Because them two together 100%. In a series, oh man, that would be so good.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So I'm pretty confident. We know we'll see more Sam. That's obvious. I am calling it. I don't see them getting rid of John Walker after this. He's got way more things to do.
Yep.
So I think, those three characters are have to be going forward into, more stuff.
The only thing I worry about John Walker a little bit is, and I want to get into more detail at the end here, but bad press is good press. Everybody says that. Right. But at the same time, what I worry about with this character is they're going to see so much bad press. are they going to think to try to tweak his character and go in a little bit different of a direction and make him a big bad compared to what it, truly is a little bit in the direct. You know what I'm saying without saying too much.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's very parallel with the comics because he was kind of the villain for a while in the
Yeah.
comics and was portrayed as very much like, okay, I think he's bad. He's actually the bad guy here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they pivoted and they made him more of a anti-hero, and then he actually did finally join the Avengers and was always a jerk and still is a jerk to this day, but is not a villain.
Right.
He's there. He's a hero.
Yeah.
He's he's
I
a little
just don't
kooky.
know if they'll make the full twist since they're getting so much bad press. Or not press, but bad things saying about him, if they'll just make him full villain.
They might lean in and just make him a little more cuckoo than he is in the books and kind of go that whole route.
Yeah, but I hope not, because U.S. Agent's such a good character in itself.
Yeah, I hope they, again, I think it's prime for, we've got two courses for Bucky. He's either going to go Thunderbolts or he's just going to go with Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And, spoiler alert, it's pretty obvious Sam's going to be the new Captain America. And is Bucky just going to, like, hey, man, you're Cap, I'm the Winter Soldier, and we're partners.
Yeah.
That's one track. Or he goes over to the Thunderbolts with Zemo, and I think U.S. Agent is going to be vilified, jailed, and the Thunderbolts are going to kind of be Marvel's Suicide Squad, or like, Zemo, you're going to lead these guys, get U.S. Agent, and I would make a team.
That sounds so good. That sounds so better than the other way, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed.
So, Oya, is that what we're calling her?
Well, let's just go with it.
Okay. She's talking with Bucky out there, and I understand her conversation is, how can you do it? How could you let Zemo go? For what I did for you and what we did for you, how can you be the one to let him go?
Right, yeah, you totally see where she's coming from. Yeah, it's like he killed King T'Chaka, and what we did for you in Wakanda, and now you're doing this to us and me? Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I totally do. And now we go to, is this Zemo's house still? Or is this an apartment that they're in? I can't really tell.
I think he's just paying. I think it's like a bed and breakfast he's just paying for.
Okay. This is where I start even falling more in love with Baron Zemo's character. And I'm sitting there telling my kids, okay, like, they're liking him. Right. And I'm like, remember, this guy is a big villain. Like, he is a big villain.
He's lulling you into a false sense of security.
And I'm like, any moment now, he's going to figure out which way to go out the door when no one's looking. Yeah. And he played it perfectly during this.
Oh, yeah.
So they're all talking, and you can go into detail about this. They're all talking. They're trying to figure out, they're looking for Carly.
Right.
They want to find out where she is because she's the head of the Flag Smashers.
Mm-hmm.
And do they know at this point too that she has the serum?
Do they know? Yeah,
I think they have a good idea that she has it. So
yeah.
They're all trying to come up with a game plan of how can we find her and blah blah blah. What was and then we actually go to Carly. And they're at a grave site, and I'm trying to find it real quick. And when is that? Wait, sorry. They're at a grave site, but that didn't happen yet. Does that happen after the talk or before the talk with Sam?
This is before, yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to find that.
I mean, just based on my memory, yeah, it's before they went to the grave site. Thought maybe it was going to be someone significant, but I think it's just her dad's gravesite. and that's where they've hidden the vials, the super soldier serum in a fanny pack. So they're picking up the remaining
Okay,
uh
here's where I was confused.
vials.
Um, they go first to try to find her, and this is where Zemo talks with the girl, correct? And
Ah,
they find out that there's going to be a funeral.
a funeral. And I forgot the woman's name, but she's obviously the mother figure for a lot of them, and especially Carly. So she's an important person, and like they and Sam had said something, hey, when a important family member dies, the whole family comes together, or the whole neighborhood kind of shut down a street and they
Yeah,
have a celebration.
yeah,
So this is what's going to happen here. So Zemo, what is it? These Turkish mints or Turkish delights?
it delights.
It's yeah, they're supposed. I guess they're crazy good. So he bribes the girl with like $500 or 500 whatever
This
currency
is
he's using.
this is another perfectly Zemo
Hmm.
moment where
Oh yeah,
he's in a schoolyard giving candy to kids and
yeah,
saying, "Hey, little girl, come over here. I can give
yeah.
you some candy."
He's he's totally slick. He's got it down. He can smooth talk anyone, and he even tells her like, "Those are bad men. Don't trust them, but tell me."
Yeah. And then she
So,
whispers it to him.
mhm.
And then Zemo finds out that it's going to be a funeral.
Right. So he's got the intel. So how is he going to handle how and when he discloses this info? So yeah, for sure.
I'm getting that whispering part. I thought that was awesome. But like I said, it was a typical Zemo moment. Like if Sam would have been doing that, we'd have been freaked out even more than with Zemo
All
doing that.
right.
We're all
Yeah,
good with
yeah.
that. So now Zemo has some information that he, for the first time, we know something's going on, and he's not going to tell Sam or Bucky of the information that he had. And he flat out tells them, I'm holding this
Oh,
for a
yeah,
reason.
this is what was kind of cool is like Bucky's like, "Hey, what were you what was that little girl saying to you?" "Oh, well, I found out it's a funeral. I'm not going to tell you where." He
Yeah.
just yeah, just flat out owns it like, "Well, I've got leverage, guys,
Yep. I
so
need
deal with it."
insurance.
Yeah.
I thought that was a perfect moment. I
Yeah,
loved it.
yeah. That was great. So good.
And they're all like, Bucky and Sam are pissed, but at the same time, they're like, okay, what the hell do you do? I mean,
Well, yeah, that's
we
like,
can't
well,
just,
this is Zemo, so
we know if we beat the living crap out of him, it's not going to change. So Sam ends up calling um, Sharon
right.
and asks for her help again over satellite.
She's in her secret evil lair because I still think I think she's the power broker, man. I
She
really
is
do.
down there in the bad streets, downtown, what they called it, right?
Yeah.
And not in her uptown with her photos and stuff like that. So what is going on with this? I don't get. I mean, I 100% feel that this is going to be something just like WandaVision did, where they keep telling us about the power broker, power broker, power broker. We're not finding out in this one. We have two. We have two more to go, and I don't think we're finding out.
Or we find out at the very end, and it's like, oh, we finally find out who the power broker is in the last scene. That
Okay.
leads into the next whatever. It's gonna follow this.
Okay.
You know, whether it's the Armor Wars with Rhodey or some other Disney Plus series or movie. So, well, yeah. I mean, you're right. I think it's going to be. We've only got 2 episodes left, man, and
That's
so
it.
there's. I mean, I thought maybe we'd see a little more of Isaiah as Cap, or whatever. Captain America in the
A little flashback,
50s.
you think? You thought?
Yeah, I thought we would, but I don't know where are you going to fit it in. I don't know how his storyline is going to fit in at this point.
Yeah.
So it just strikes me as like, man, we've only got 2 episodes left, so we'll see. Lots to tie up.
And they haven't announced if they're going to be longer episodes, right?
No, I think the last one will be maybe slightly over an hour. I wouldn't get too much more than that. I mean,
Okay.
we heard the last episode of WandaVision was going to be,
Yeah.
an hour and a half. Wrong.
Nope. And now
Nope.
there possibly might be another one. Nope.
Yeah.
An
Nope.
extra one. Okay, so now Carly is at and we're, like you said, we're guessing that it's her father's gravesite, and that's where she has the extra serum.
Right. So they've got the serum. So there's 20 vials, like that doctor said. So potentially 20 more super soldiers can be made. So that's what they're there to do. Carly thinks she's gonna go ahead and grow the army.
Do you like that storyline right there about the serum?
I mean, well, what do you mean? Just as far as what they want to do with it, or?
Well, I mean, I am not as deep into the comics as you are, but I don't remember
Right.
this kind of serum situation at all. And so it's throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's never really been a ton of, well, I shouldn't say that. In all the years, there's probably been some kind of serum somewhere. I mean, there's been a couple. There was a guy called Protocide, I remember in the early 2000s. He was some kind of super soldier that Cap fought, and he hasn't been seen or heard of since. But so there's always been some type of variations, but
Okay.
nothing's been as perfected as what Erskine did with Steve. It's never been. It just hasn't been perfected. So there's always been other ones, and they've used, and there's always been side effects, or they ended up being mutations or crazy or heart attacks, or like they have played it up in this series as like, and even in the first Avenger, let's remember this. Erskine said this serum makes you more of who you really are. So
Yeah.
Steve, and it's actually in this episode, even Baron Zemo said,
It was
and
with
we'll get into
Bucky.
that.
It was with Bucky and Baron when they were
Yeah.
talking. And it already happened. It
Well,
happened at the house, right? Where Baron saying that the serum is no good to anybody, and there's never been, it's never helped anybody be a good person or whatever. And didn't Bucky
well,
say something about there's been one?
yeah, but I think this is later, but we can maybe go ahead and say it because he asked Sam, "Would you take the serum?" And Sam says no. I mean, automatically says
Oh,
no,
you're right. You're right.
and he's basically said it turns out bad. Zemo says it turns out bad for everyone, and then he comes back. He says, "Well, not Steve," and he goes, "Touche." But
Yeah.
there's only one Steve Rogers, and because Steve Rogers is like the quality human being, is he perfect? No, but he's worthy. He lifted Mjolnir, so.
Yep.
But look, we go back to the Red Skull. He had a variation of it, and he was an evil guy, and it turned him into a hideous, disfigured mess, and he
Yep.
was evil. So, most of the time it changes you into not good things.
And just like,
Steve was the anomaly.
and John Walker was already an ass.
Yeah, he saw and did some bad things over in Afghanistan. So, all
All
right.
right, so now we got them figuring out where the funeral is, and Sam and Baron and Winter Soldier runs into John Walker, and I call him Battlestar still, but Lamar.
Yeah, Battlestar Lamar.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, they keep finding him pretty easy.
yeah. What did you think about this run in? I mean, right away, John is just like livid, just yelling at them
Yeah,
right away
he's
about
on it, man.
Baron, basically. And if you remember, they were thinking about doing the same exact thing on getting Baron information from Baron.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know what he's yelling about. I guess he didn't get to do it.
Well, yeah, I think so. They were, of course, I think, they were like, how could you break him out? I mean, they would go and get information from him. they're like, "What are you doing breaking him out of jail?"
I
And
didn't.
you're almost like, it's almost like, well, you can't blame him for being like, well, "What the hell are you doing
Yeah.
working with Zemo?" So
I love what Bucky said though. He said, "I didn't break him out.
it's true. It's like I didn't break him out. Yeah, he got out on his own.
We helped, but I didn't do it."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Sam, I really like this exchange where Sam is saying that he wants to go in. First, they lock Zemo up into the whatever that was there. And I right away when they
Yeah.
locked him up, I told my kids, like, Baron Zemo can't get out of handcuffs.
Right. You could tell he was like, "You guys, this is stupid," right? It's like, fine, fine, I'll play along for now.
But Sam talked, and I love the background that he gave. He wanted to talk to Carly because he really felt that he could have a connection with her, and he
Yeah.
had a reason because he specialized in this in his
Yeah.
military.
Right. Remember back in Winter Soldier when he's leading the group, the guy's back, the PTSD or what have you. It's a therapeutic group.
Yeah.
And in the comic book, Sam was a social worker down in, like, I don't know if it was in the Bronx or Harlem, but that's really kind of what he did a lot. He
Hmm.
was down in the neighborhoods helping out. So,
That's pretty cool. And
hmm
then John was only going to give Sam 10 minutes. I will give you
oh,
10 minutes.
15.
Was it
Yeah,
15?
I think so. They only ended up giving him 10. Jerk.
Yeah, that's a typical John Walker. So
Yeah.
the funeral's going on, and they walk in, and Carly sees movement up at the top.
Yeah, so they start talking, and throughout what they're conversing about, it's like Sam's making a lot of good points, and you can tell he's getting through to her.
Well, I'm not
Because
there.
he's
We're not there yet. She sees Sam up at the top of the funeral, and while
right.
the funeral's still going on.
Yeah.
Now, were you surprised that she didn't do something right then? Like, she doesn't know
Well,
Sam at all at this point.
she knows. She's probably thinking, well, he's not alone, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna ruin the funeral. We got to get on to the funeral here, and it's just a plot. You got to move the plot forward. So
Okay,
she's gonna, and she probably realizes too, is like, well, I can take Sam, so he's not a super soldier,
right.
and he doesn't have his gear on, so whatever he might try to do, I'm gonna get out of. So
And
I'll hear
Sam,
what he has to say.
so now they are talking, and Sam right
Mm-hmm.
away says he is alone. And she
Right.
does, I mean, right away, it feels like she has a little bit of trust with Sam.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she can sense he's a good guy, and is he's making valid points to her about, hey, you might have a good cause, but how you're going about it just isn't
Yeah,
right.
I love that.
Anytime you're gonna be killing people, that kind of negates any goodness you were trying to do.
And didn't he trick her into saying basically something like that? And she caught on right after she said it that, okay,
Right.
how it just came out wasn't how it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, but anyway, so yeah, they're getting somewhere, and well, to go back to, John Walker wasn't even he didn't want to do it at all, and finally Lamar said, "Look, man, let's try this."
Yeah.
So,
If nobody can get hurt, it's worth trying it.
right.
So
But oh no,
no, he's
he's like
done.
a kid in the candy shop. He can't handle it. He's got barge in.
So at first though, Bucky was like stopping him. Like, no, you're not going.
Right.
Why do you feel Bucky then was like, whatever, go?
Well, because he's like, "Hey, man, your partner's in there,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not a super soldier. You're gonna let him be in there?
And
You're
then
not gonna have his
he said
back?"
he's been in worse situations.
Yeah. But he's finally like, "All right, I probably ought to get in there. And again, Sam doesn't have his gear. He's just on his own in there against who knows how many super soldiers. So he finally decides, yep, okay.
And again, the badass of this group definitely was Bucky. I mean,
Oh
he's
yeah.
he's going after everybody. He's basically running through people, jumping upstairs, doing whatever he wants to do compared to what they're doing. Because not just that he's a super soldier, he's got the arm on top of it.
And he's got decades of experience. I mean, now, does he remember everything? Well, yeah, he actually does. He remembers all of it. Go
Mm-hmm.
back to Civil War. It's like, do you even remember what you did or how many you killed? He's like, I remember all of them.
Yeah.
So that's why he's got the book. So yeah, I mean, he's got decades of experience as a super soldier.
Yep.
So, that comes in handy too.
And Carly is on the run. And Carly ends up being in a wrong room. And somebody somehow in this maze of a building has already got
Yeah,
unhandcuffed. And he's waiting for Carly.
damn right he has.
And this is
Zemo.
where it's hard. It was hard for me
Yeah.
to explain to my kids that Zemo's a bad guy. Because all Zemo wants to do is get rid of the serum.
Well, yeah, and here's what's interesting is like he does stand by his convictions. It's not like he's the evil guy because guess what? He has an opportunity to snag a vial and take it.
And that's what
And
I
he
got up
doesn't.
right now. And my kids, when they saw this, they were like, he's going to take it. He's going to take
And
it.
I thought maybe he would. And he didn't.
No.
He crushed everyone he crushed them all that he thought he could.
He thought he had everything.
Yeah. So it's like this guy's. Yeah, I mean, he does not want it, and he wants it gone. So it's like, okay.
Man, I got to get this good footstep of it. It's hard to stop it. Because it's a perfect picture. Okay, I got it. That's what I loved. I mean, we were all waiting for the bad guy to take one. To have the only one.
Right.
And nope, his whole conviction was, I'm getting rid of all of them.
Yeah. I mean, so he's like, we don't need super soldiers at all.
So what
They need it.
What do you think is behind why, give a little background, why Zemo would be like that?
Well, I mean, this is all based on the movies, and so he isn't quite as evil in these movies or the MCU as he is in the comics. And we won't go deep into the comic history. Zemo has over the years become a bit of a good guy on and off, but there are times in the comics he was as evil as you could get.
Yeah.
I mean, in the comic books, he infiltrated Avengers Mansion with the Masters of Evil, and poor Jarvis, the butler, is there, and they beat him almost to death. And then they all beat Hercules almost to death. So, I mean, he was as evil as you could get. But with this side in the MCU, he's coming at it like, hey, I lost my wife and my son, as we know from Civil War, and he kept the recorded message from them, the last message he ever heard. And so it's a revenge thing for him too.
Okay.
So
unfortunately, after Zemo stomped on every vial that he thought, there's one more left.
Yeah, man.
It's out in the corner under some water bottles. And there is somebody that sees it. And that somebody is
Mr. John Walker.
John Walker.
Let's get that. Get it. Take it.
And he does. And he puts
it in his. Yeah, he takes it. Well, he doesn't ingest it, but he grabs it and he puts it in his pocket for safekeeping.
Did part of you a little bit think he was going to do something right then?
Yeah, well, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. So he's gonna pick it up. Is he gonna just go ahead and throw it back real quick? But he didn't.
No,
he didn't.
There's another reason that he does later. So now Battlestar is trying to find everybody. I gotta get to that part. I don't know where that part is. Is that part later? Yeah, it is. Okay,
Well,
I got it.
yeah, because
There's a whole different
we've
fight.
got to get
Oh,
back
yeah,
to
yeah, 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 yeah.
the
So,
Dora Milaje coming up
well, basically, they
because they're
get
not
out of there and they all split up and they go back to the
right.
bed and breakfast.
Yeah. So this is a big scene here.
So
And really,
Baron,
this kind of makes the decision for Walker, as we'll get into. I mean, when this scene ends, it's kind of like you can see it on his face. The wheels are turning big time.
yeah. So Zemo, how did Walker find out where Zemo and them were staying?
Well, I don't know. I can't remember that part specifically. I mean, they initially found him walking out, so I guess they all decided to congregate back at Zemo's place. And really, Bucky too has been telling Zemo, "Hey, the Dora Milaje have not forgot. In fact, they're probably watching us now." I think that was early in the episode, and so now is the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're not waiting any longer.
And guess who's
They're
here?
coming after Zemo.
And there they are, two of them. And they look badass.
So yeah, they bust in and yeah, and they're going for Zemo, right? So they get into it with John and Lamar, and I think it's kind of funny at first. Bucky and Sam are like, "All right." I think even wasn't Zemo just kind of chilling out too.
Zemo was standing behind everybody, and I'm telling you, the first aggressors were Lamar and John. They went right up to him, like,
"Oh yeah.
Who in the hell are you?
Oh yeah.
I'm in charge here."
Right.
And she was like, "Nope."
Please.
It was awesome. I want to get to the hit.
So, needless to say, they make a bit of short work of Lamar and John, but
doesn't Sam even try to warn him?
Okay, we got to get involved.
Doesn't Sam even try to warn John? You don't.
I think he's like, you don't want to mess with these ladies. They are serious. But I mean, even Sam though and Bucky have to get involved because they're like, oh, okay, this might be getting a little out of hand here. But the lady we can't pronounce, Aya. She kind of makes short work of John with the shield, like throws her spear and he's done. Can't get the shield out at all. He's toast.
That was awesome. And I like the part where she right at first kicked him right into that other sword, and then he was trying to stop her with the shield, and she just was like, nope. They were badasses. And if you notice,
so yeah,
with them fighting like this, Zemo's just standing in the background.
Yeah.
And guess what he's thinking about doing?
He's like, I'm out of here. So you guys go have your fun, and I'll slip out of my secret way.
But isn't that why we love him so much?
Yeah, I mean, so far we love him to love him.
Yeah.
But he's gonna do something that's not good to where, we always like Loki too, but really in Avengers, Loki was nothing too great. He was full on bad guy in that. So I think Zemo's gonna do something here pretty vile.
Yeah, I just got him sneaking out the door and closing the door, and he's gone. And Sam and them are fighting. Okay, now John is stuck to the table. Now, what they do to Bucky, what in the heck was that with the arm falling off?
No, that was Wakandan technology. It's almost like, oh, you silly boy, you think we didn't put a failsafe in this? So she knew how to deactivate it. Like, doop, doop, doop.
Does that surprise you at all?
Or the nerve? Not at all.
It
No.
didn't. It
I
didn't at
mean,
all. I mean, I was
well,
like,
I mean,
"Oh crap!"
yes, okay, I should rephrase that. Yeah, well, like, oh, okay. Well, then you're like, yeah, okay, it makes sense. It's Wakanda, man. They know what they're doing. They're not going to hand over that kind of technology without a way to deactivate it. So,
It's their stuff.
and, and Sam's like, do you know they could do that? No.
Hell no.
So he's like, ah, crap.
But I
But then, are
love.
we at the scene yet
We're at the scene
with
right now where
Walker?
what I'm showing right now is them looking at John on the floor, and this is where you know he was just humiliated in
That
front of
yes.
people, and now the wheels are even turning more, in my opinion, than what happens a little later.
Oh yeah, he's realizing he got his ass handed to him by two women. Now
Mm-hmm.
they are slightly enhanced because the Dora Milaje do take I don't know if they take all the root like the Black Panther does, but they do have a bit of a piece of it. So they're slightly enhanced.
Okay.
But in his mind, I think John's thinking, I just got my butt handed to me by two women
Yep.
and I'm freaking Captain America.
Yep.
I mean, I can't
I'm
even
not going to be
beat.
Captain America very long
I'm
if
not gonna
this happens.
exactly. So I think that is like he's 90%. He's like he's close, very close.
Now him
He's
and
like I got
Lamar,
to take it.
what I have up right now is him and Lamar talking at the table.
Okay,
This is where the discussion comes up, would you? Correct?
right. Yeah, and then Lamar's like, hell yeah, I'd take it. I mean, like, imagine all the lives we could save as soldiers in Afghanistan if we had that serum.
Yeah.
And then I think don't they talk about it makes you know you a better person or what or makes you who you are. And
Yeah.
then he brings up Steve Rogers too about well Steve was one of a kind.
And they were
And
saying
then
basically has what, 3 medals of honor from, and he was trying
yeah,
to say you're a good guy and blah blah blah.
I think this was a good scene of like, look, I mean, yeah, John Walker, headstrong, a little arrogant, maybe, but it's like he isn't a bad guy. It's like the guy is a soldier and wants to do good, and he's even questioning, like, I think Lamar, if I took it, would I be okay? He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're freaking 3 medals of honor, and then he's like, yeah, but everything we did to get those are maybe weren't so great.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, war makes you do terrible things, but
So
so
the wheels turning in his mind about still not taking. He's trying to talk
yeah,
himself out of it.
I think he was damn close. He was like, I got to take this thing. I'll never make it as Cap. And now maybe talking to Lamar, like, hell, maybe I don't know. Should I really take it? And that's what he's thinking.
Yeah. I thought it was really good stuff.
Yeah.
And now the scene where Carly calls Sam's sister.
Ooh. Yeah. This is like
This is a little
the
deep.
serum. I think Carly felt betrayed by Sam. You know, although someone had said like maybe Sam should have said, "Hey, I've got people with me, but they're outside, but I'm alone right now because of eventually someone was going to walk in." But regardless, she feels betrayed by
Mm-hmm.
Walker and everyone busting in on him, and now she's getting. Now I think this is the sign that the serum is changing her, not for the better.
Yeah.
Last episode she blew up that building, killed a few people. Now she's threatening, not so subtly,
Yeah.
Sam and his nephews. I mean, you're threatening kids now.
Yep.
So this is not good. I don't care what your cause is.
There was two things about this scene. I don't know how much we want to get into this, but it sort of worried me a little bit of what direction they were going to go. Sam's sister was basically saying, "I'm in the same boat as you are." Um,
Right.
you know, it's hard being a woman of color in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I appreciate what you're doing for this world, basically, is what she was saying.
Yeah.
And then it turned to where Carly said, if he's working with John Walker, I'm going to kill him. And then
Yeah.
Sam's sister was like, I can tell you one thing. He is not working with that son of a bitch.
Right. Yeah. So
So I
yeah, I mean
guess,
she's angry, everything that's happened with the blip has caused a lot more chaos than, because like they said, you have half the world gone. All of a sudden, borders aren't a big deal anymore, and you're able to take people in. You have room for everyone to help, and then boom, everyone's back. It's all kind of
mm-hmm.
back to normal, and so yeah, people are mad and upset and been screwed over. So yeah. Anyway, though, I mean, definitely Carly's going down the wrong path.
Yeah.
And it's like, is she gonna come back or is she gonna go full on pretty evil by the end of the series? So far she's definitely headed that way.
Well, in the next scene, you know something's coming up because Sam is in his full Falcon gear.
Yeah, good. Get him in the costume, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
finally. And of course, Winter Soldier's always in costume. So he is again meeting with Carly in full Falcon gear, and she's defensive, but they're still able to communicate in that scene.
Right.
And then all of a sudden,
Of
again,
course, he's like, did you just threaten my sister? Not cool.
yeah, which he had a legitimate reason to say that.
Oh yeah. He's like, oh no, 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 no.
Yeah, that's
You don't do
you
that.
just stepped over
You
the
cross the
line.
line.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Now right away though, Sam gets something in his ear, and it is why am I going Carter? But what's her first name? Sharon.
Oh yeah, Sharon, yeah.
She's tracking John Walker with this satellite. What's this all about?
I know, like, I guess she has all these resources in Madripoor, which I'm like, okay, power broker.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, it makes
man,
you
they're
think for sure more, right?
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. My money's still on that for her to be the power broker. So we'll
I
see.
I can't disagree with you. So they know that it's coming. Fight breaks out. Gigantic fight breaks out, and uh, Mr. Walker is a different man in this.
Yeah, as soon as you all of a sudden we should have picked. I didn't pick up on it until as quick because he throws that shield and it sticks into a concrete wall.
Yeah, but
So I
did you
didn't really.
notice what happened even before that?
What was that?
He went in the door and busted it open, and the whole door flew like 10 feet when he busted it
Yeah,
open.
yeah.
And
So
then
it's
he
like,
threw the
okay,
shield, and it stuck way big time in the wall.
yeah. So you're like, oh, or was it just the shield that could cut through anything? I don't know. Then boom, he kicks that guy out the door, and Sam's like, "What did you do?"
I
Because
love that part.
yeah, obviously you've done something. How did you take the serum? Where did you get it?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get to that part. And then they go into a room, and there's a big fight, and Battlestar is in there already.
Yeah,
And he's getting the living crap kicked out of him.
right.
So do you want to go into detail about what happens to him?
Well, yeah. And I need to watch it again. I was thinking there was the scene where they're all fighting, right?
Yeah.
And one
They
guy
all
kind
split
of,
up too for some reason.
yeah, but one of them almost had John a little bit, because they're all super soldiers fighting, and one of them kind of had John. I don't know, at an advantage, and then Lamar kind of helps him out, and then but when he does that, he opens himself up, and
Yeah.
bang, he gets tagged hard, thrown against a concrete pillar so hard it kills him. He's dead, man. And I was
Again,
telling my wife, I was like, I told her beforehand, and we'll get into the comic part of this too. I was like, oh yeah, he's toast. He's toast. What? How do you know? I was like, he's gonna die. I could see it, man.
Um, for the first time too that I noticed, except wait, on the 18-wheeler fight, John was able to throw the shield a lot too, correct? But he was
Yeah.
throwing, and this time it was hitting multiple people and coming back. Is that anything to do with the serum?
Well, we were thinking like, has he taken the serum already? And I think now we've learned that. Well, no. I mean, they showed that video in episode 2 of him training and how he was so good with the shield, and so he had to be pretty darn good to actually be picked as Captain America. So
Right.
he's not a super soldier, but he was pretty handy and pretty athletic and strong. So I think they were just showing you that he's really gifted, but at the end of the day, he's not superhuman.
Correct. So we are unfortunately at the bad part here for one individual. They're all in the same room fighting, and like you said, Bucky or um
Battlestar Lamar, man, he doesn't survive the
he
fight.
gets thrown against a pillar and just takes it, and like right away you can tell he's dead.
Oh yeah, you hear the crack, he's gone, man, instantly.
And so John technically took it before this fight. We were thinking he would take the serum after getting so angry because Battlestar dies.
Yeah, but he didn't. No, he'd already taken it. He must have decided like, look, if I'm gonna be Cap, I'm gonna bet on myself and take this thing. And so he'd already taken it. So there's gonna be guilt because like you know should I have waited and tried to find another one, and Lamar and I both have it because now he's dead. So I think that'll be coming up too for John.
But we see John's anger
Oh
afterwards.
my gosh, yeah, he knows he's gone, and it's like I just lost my best friend. I've been through all that in Afghanistan, everything together. He's gone, man. He's dead. So, and this is the other part that we'll get into the bad thing, but this is real common, and I don't speak from experience, but I know people who have. If you're in war together and you lose your wingman or your buddy, you it sometimes is a little more than you can handle emotionally.
Mm.
So you got to understand John's rage here, but unfortunately, it's going to backfire big time.
And on top of this, something that would have never have happened in your day or my day when we're younger,
Right.
everyone is filming it.
Oh
Everyone.
yeah. So he's going down a public street after one of the flag smashers, and he gets him. And I don't know if you're there yet, but
Yeah, keep
you
talking.
know,
I'm right on it. I'm trying to
he's
get to
throwing
that
this
perfect shot.
he's throwing the shield all around, and he finally gets him uh you know on these steps,
Yep.
and he takes up the shield and does some pounding, and in a fit of rage, and everyone's standing around with their camera phones video recording, he probably beheads this guy,
Oh,
honestly.
I would think that's
I
what
mean,
happened for sure.
yeah, I mean, you've got a vibranium metal shield who can handle anything.
I'm at
And then
that.
they kind of have this almost iconic image of the blood splattered
That's what I'm on.
American
Perfect
shield.
timing. That's what I'm on
Yeah,
right now.
the blood splattered American shield. So basically, America has killed this man,
And everybody's filming it.
and everybody's filming it.
Did you notice one of the people in the street that saw this?
Uh, well, I don't know. Yeah, tell me who we
Sam and
got.
them
Who we
came
got?
up late, but somebody that
Yeah,
was
I
out in
remember
the
them.
street saw it, and she was standing behind the people filming. It was Carly.
Oh, it was Carly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so she saw it and was like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah.
so
Wow.
wow." And that was it, man. That was the shot to end on. So now massive ramifications.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's got to lose the shield here, right? What is
yeah, I
the
mean,
next episode? Is it him losing the shield and going more nuts? Is Sam isn't getting it right away, I don't think.
well, yeah, I know. It's like, are we gonna actually? I don't know what they've got 2 episodes. I'm having trouble deciding how they're gonna fit all this in
Here's my thought
because
on the 2 episodes. This next episode is going to be like a big trial or something on we have all of this film on you going rage on killing somebody.
yeah,
You cannot be our Captain America. He is now going to be still angry for Battlestar. So he's going to go through this anger and figuring out a way to make a plot to kill all these people. And I think you might start seeing Bucky and Sam talking, well, the shield is back. Let's go get it. It's yours. Let's
yeah,
give it
yeah.
to
Because
who
we know
Steve
they get
wanted.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen the shots of Sam throwing it at that tree in the trailers, and so we see all that,
They
and we know
can't
he's gonna get it.
they can't wait till the last episode, can they?
I I think they're gonna wait till the last episode. And here's what I'm wondering: surely they're gonna have Sam in action in the Captain America suit. I know he gets it. We've seen the toys.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. I'm just hoping they don't, have an image of him walking out in the suit, and that's the end of the series. I'm hoping we actually see him fight as Captain America. I think we will.
Okay.
And so I think that will be episode 6. So I don't think he'll have all that set up for episode 5. I think you're right. We got to deal with what happens with John and the ramifications of him losing the shield or being disgraced. Where does his character go? And then we got to figure out what to do about Carly and the other flag smashers that are still out there.
Yeah.
Because somebody was saying online that there's still 5 vials left. If you counted, there was 20, and the ones that got smashed and the ones that they've already taken, there's like 5 left. I'm not sure. I'd have to go watch the episode closer to see, but like 5 are still floating out there
Those people
for
are the same people
something
for
to happen.
WandaVision, right?
I don't know. It was on a podcast, so who the heck knows? I was like, well,
Okay.
I wasn't watching that close where I was counting the counting the vials.
Before we get into what we think is going to happen to John Walker, why don't you dive a little deeper real quick on who John Walker is and comic book wise?
Well, yeah, when I told my wife, I was like, oh, I know, I read what was going to happen because it was kind of telegraphed, because it's very reminiscent of the comic book when John first was in the comic and he took over as Captain America, and you could tell he had some rage issues, and this is in the comic, this is what discredits him or disgraces him. Instead of Lamar dying, which in the comics he's still alive, in the comics there was this group and they're called the Watchdogs, and they're a extremist group, blah blah blah. He takes care of them in a comic and jails their leader. Well, they all want revenge on him, and they find out who he is, and he's from the Midwest. They go to, well, I don't know about that, somewhere on a farm. His parents live on a farm. They go kidnap his parents, hold him hostage. Somehow they capture John too, and they execute his parents in front of him.
Oh my.
And he goes ballistic, and he wipes out the whole group of them. He murders them all. And they can't, he's disgraced at that point, and they're trying to figure out what to do. He's kind of unstable, obviously. So very similar, it's different but similar. So it's the same thing that's going on here with John on the show.
That's
So,
crazy.
but yeah, there's a whole trade paperback of that whole run. If anyone's interested, it's worth reading. So
Now, what do you see happening with him on the show going forward? Is it going
Well,
to
see,
play with the comics, you think?
I don't think so. I think that little plot device or storyline was what they took from the comics, because I think now, they just can't play it out the same.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, do you think he's going to get arrested, or what do you think's going to happen here?
Well, that's what I'm having trouble figuring out. It's like I don't know for sure. I think they're gonna have to do something for it, because again, when he killed all the watchdogs in the comic, there weren't any cell phones. It was on a farm. They just couldn't hide all the bodies though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here it's been all over the world, so yeah, something's gonna happen.
And man, the other countries are plastering the USA over everything with this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we can't always rely on toys, because toys have variants and they're trying to sell things, and it's like they may have this costume or that costume just to sell. But there is an image of USA or John Walker in his costume that he's wearing right now, but it's black. It's black and red, which is US agent colors. So I think I'm hoping that's what happens somehow. He's going to carry on, but he's going to be covert in some capacity, like we talked about with the
Okay.
Thunderbolts, maybe Zemo, and he's going to be in the black and red instead of blue, because Sam will be Captain America. But I'm not sure how John's going to get from that point, from point A to point B. I don't know what's going to happen in between, so we'll just
Okay.
have to see.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Oh
All right.
yeah,
We got 2 more. I'm ready for them.
yeah. I'm excited. Then we have a little break between Falcon and Loki. We
Yeah.
gotta wait till June 11th for that, but
I'm
we do
excited.
have Jupiter's. I mean, it's not Marvel or DC, but we have Jupiter's Legacy starting on May 7th on Netflix. So I'm super excited about that.
I think we're diving into that one too.
Oh yeah, I'm super impressed with that trailer. I'm pumped, man.
Yep.
And we got Invincible, 3 more weeks of that. So
It will
I
almost go
know,
right into Jupiter's Legacy.
yeah, yeah. So I know you haven't watched the new episode of Invincible, but woo,
Oh,
not for the faint of heart.
I'm watching it tomorrow.
Yeah.
100%.
All right.
Well, that's all we got for today.
Okay, guys. Yep. Sounds good. I can't wait. See
See
ya.
ya.